Let's begin with a statistic that might completely shift what you thought you knew about intimacy. Around 65% of women consistently reach climax during partnered intimacy, compared to about 95% of men. This gap isn't because women are somehow complicated. Not at all. It exists for one clear and undeniable reason. Most of us were never truly taught how the female body is built for pleasure. I'm Dr. Hana Kim, a men's sexual health expert, and the truth is that both men and women often find themselves navigating this terrain without a proper map. For most people, education on this subject didn't come from parents or school, but from media and pornography, both of which paint a highly unrealistic picture. This leaves couples trapped in a frustrating loop, where passion fades not from a lack of affection, but from a lack of understanding. The good news? This is absolutely fixable. The female body's pleasure response isn't a mystery, it's science. Today we're going to replace old myths with research-backed facts. We'll explore the key anatomy, uncover the real science behind female arousal, and discuss practical ways you can become a more confident and connected partner. So, let's start, as all true understanding should, with anatomy. Many people casually use the word vagina to describe everything, but that's not quite accurate. The correct term for the external area is vulva. It includes the inner and outer lips, which naturally vary in color, shape, and size. And that diversity is completely normal. Now, let's move to the true center of female pleasure, the clitoris. What's visible on the outside is only the tip. In reality, the clitoris is a large internal wishbone-shaped structure with more than 10,000 nerve endings, nearly double what's found in the penis. It's the only human organ created solely for pleasure. From a developmental point of view, the clitoris and the penis are homologous, meaning they come from the same embryonic tissue. This is a key insight. The sensitivity you understand in your own anatomy can serve as a valuable reference point when understanding hers. Now, let's take a closer look at this star of the show, the powerhouse of female pleasure, the clitoris. Situated at the top of the vulva, just above the urethra and vaginal opening, it's protected by a small hood of tissue. But here's where things get fascinating. That small visible nub you see? It's merely the surface, the tip of a much larger structure beneath. The clitoris actually extends deep into the pelvis, forming a complex wishbone-shaped network with two internal branches, called crura, that curve around the vaginal canal. Think of it not as a small button, but as a vast internal network of sensitive tissue. And when it comes to nerves, it's remarkable. Over 10,000 nerve endings are concentrated here, nearly twice the amount in the head of the penis. It's the only organ in the entire human body with a single dedicated purpose, pleasure. It's not a minor detail, it's the main event. Developmentally, the clitoris and penis are essentially the same organ, just arranged differently. So if you're ever unsure where to start when it comes to what might feel good, think about your own body. Gentle, rhythmic, and varied stimulation is often a great place to begin. When a woman becomes aroused, the clitoris behaves in a familiar way. It fills with blood, becoming firmer, larger, and more sensitive, much like an erection. It's the body's clear physical signal that it's ready for intimacy. Beneath the clitoris lies the urethral opening, followed by the vaginal opening. The vagina itself is an extraordinary muscular canal, dynamic and adaptive, not static. It's designed for penetration. Yes, but its role in pleasure is deeply connected to the surrounding, internal clitoral structures. Completing. The picture is the perineum, the tissue between the vaginal opening and the anus, another area dense with nerve endings. Now that we've built this anatomical foundation, let's address one of the most talked about and misunderstood topics in intimate health, the G-spot. The G-spot has been surrounded by myths for decades. Many men treat it like hidden treasure to be discovered, while women may feel inadequate if they can't locate this so-called magical point. But it's time to clear things up. Named after Dr. Ernst Greffenberg, who described it decades ago, the G-spot isn't actually a distinct spot. It's better described as an erogenous zone, located about 1 to 2 inches inside the vagina, on the front wall, the side closest to the belly button. Why is this region particularly sensitive? Because it's a convergence point. Just beneath that area lie the internal branches of the clitoris, the urethra, and a cluster of glands known as Skene's glands. These are sometimes called the female prostate because they originate from the same tissue as the male prostate and can even produce small amounts of prostate-specific antigen, PSA. Stimulation of this zone can be extremely pleasurable for many women, as it activates an interconnected network of sensitive structures. However, here's an important point. The nerve density in this region is still lower than that of the external clitoris. So, what does that mean in real terms? For some women, internal stimulation of this area brings intense pleasure. For others, it feels neutral or even uncomfortable. All of these experiences are completely valid and normal. All of these responses are entirely normal. The main takeaway is this: stop the endless hunt. Rather than fixating on locating the G-spot, focus instead on exploring that general area with your partner's feedback guiding you. Once she's fully aroused externally, you can gently insert a finger and use a subtle "come here" motion along the front wall. The secret lies in attentively reading her verbal and nonverbal cues. Is her breathing quickening? Is she leaning toward you, or does she seem to tense up? Let her reactions direct you. This brings us to perhaps the most crucial and most frequently skipped stage of intimacy, the arousal process itself. This represents one of the biggest mindset shifts we need to make. In media, sex is so often portrayed as a rapid-fire sequence, a bit of kissing, followed by instant penetration and simultaneous explosive climaxes. That image is not only unrealistic, it's deeply misleading. The biological truth is that male and female arousal follow very different timelines. For men, arousal tends to occur quickly, often within just a few minutes. For most women, however, becoming fully aroused is a slower, more gradual process, typically taking anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes. Let's break down what's actually going on inside the female body during this time, a process first described by Masters and Johnson as the sexual response cycle. The excitement phase, 5 to 20 minutes. Think of this as the ignition phase, the body's engine starting up. Blood flow to the genital area can increase by as much as 300%. The clitoris begins to swell and become erect. The vaginal walls start producing natural lubrication. The labia enlarge and may darken in color. Internally, an incredible thing called vaginal tenting takes place. The vagina lengthens while the cervix and uterus lift upward and out of the way to create more space. This is precisely why rushing into penetration can be uncomfortable or even painful. If her body hasn't completed this phase, the cervix remains low, and impact can cause discomfort. The plateau phase, variable duration. Arousal continues to rise steadily. The lower third of the vagina swells to form what's known as the orgasmic platform, which enhances sensation for both partners. The upper vaginal canal continues expanding. The clitoris may retract slightly under its hood as it becomes fully engorged. Additional lubrication is secreted by the Bartholin's glands. Meanwhile, heart rate, breathing, and blood pressure all continue to climb. The orgasmic phase, 10 to 60 seconds. This is the climax. For women, orgasm isn't a fleeting moment. It's often a sustained, wave-like experience that can last up to a minute or longer. It's characterized by rhythmic, involuntary contractions of the pelvic floor muscles, uterus, and even the anal sphincter, occurring roughly every 0.8 seconds. This is a very real physical event. A partner can often feel those contractions. Physiologically, the heart rate can soar to around 160 beats per minute, the equivalent of an intense cardio workout. The resolution phase. After orgasm, the body slowly returns to its resting state. Unlike men, many women do not experience a refractory period, meaning they can achieve multiple orgasms if stimulation continues. So, what's the practical takeaway from all this science? Quite simply, foreplay isn't optional. It's a biological requirement for comfortable, pleasurable intimacy. The key is investing enough time, ideally 20 to 30 minutes, in kissing, touching, caressing, and oral stimulation before moving toward penetration. Another important myth to dispel: lubrication is not a reliable sign of arousal. A woman may be highly turned on, yet produce little natural lubrication due to factors such as stress, hydration levels, hormone fluctuations, or medications. Conversely, she might be lubricated but not fully mentally engaged. That's why I always strongly recommend using an external lubricant. It reduces friction, boosts comfort, and heightens sensation for both partners. Think of it as premium-grade fuel for your intimate engine. It simply makes everything smoother and more enjoyable. Now, let's discuss one of the most glamorized and misunderstood phenomena of all: female ejaculation, often called squirting. Thanks to its portrayal in adult media, squirting has been placed on a pedestal as the ultimate proof of sexual mastery or pleasure. This has created immense and entirely unnecessary pressure for both partners. Here are the fact